Hey guys, and thanks for coming to the Justang Show. Over the past few days, Americans have been grappling with trying to comprehend the evil behind what has been going on in our world with our elites. And I mean the Jeffrey Epstein files, by the way, and all of the terrible things that were included with them, including how Bill Gates got an STD from a Russian hooker and tried to slip his wife antibiotics so she wouldn't find out about it. And of course, that's not so bad. But all the other terrible things having to do with children are. And then we get into darker things that the public's going to have to start to accept, like the fact of the harvesting of adrenochrome, which has been going on among the elites in Hollywood for God knows how long. The beginning of time, probably, because these are satanic practices. Make no doubt about it. And even in the emails, Epstein himself named one of his bank accounts Baal, which is one of the false gods, Moloch and Baal, the ones that these people today who are mentioned in Revelation 2:9, they worship. And when you take a look at Baal, let's ask who Baal is. Well, looky there. Did I miss, let's see, let me go back to, I'll read this to you. All right, so in Christianity, Baal, often written as Baal, is viewed as a false god, a pagan idol, or demonic entity that represents idolatry and rebellion against the one true God, Yahweh. The name Baal comes from a Semitic word meaning Lord or owner, but in the Bible it almost always refers to a Canaanite deity, most commonly the storm and fertility god Hadad, that the Israelites were repeatedly tempted to worship, much to God's anger. Christian understanding draws directly from the Old Testament, where Baal is portrayed as the chief rival to Yahweh. Worship of Baal is condemned as spiritual adultery, turning away from the covenant with God to allow foreign gods. This theme runs through books like Judges 1 through 2 Kings, Jeremiah, and Hosea. Now, is Baal Satan? I don't know. Let's see if that is a question worth asking. Now, no, Baal is not literally Satan in mainstream Christian theology, but is a strong connection that leads many Christians to view Baal worship as ultimately demonic and linked to Satan, which it is. Now, Baal, wait, let's find out. Is Baal Moloch? No, Baal is not the same as Moloch. Okay, so when I look up Baal, you get this right here, which was, I've always thought that this image was Moloch, that the deity that takes the child sacrifices, Moloch, but I may be wrong. It must be Baal. So let's go back and read some more here. All right, let's see. Moloch, appears specifically in context of child sacrifice, so it is Moloch. So Baal is the one that would be connected with the Baphomet, the transgender god. Let's see. Baphomet, and as you can see, let's see here. Yes, here we go. Okay. So this is... There we go. That is what is Baal. This is Moloch. Even though, look, no, that is Moloch. We specifically found that out. Alright. Christianity views both as false gods. Baal is the primary rival to Yahweh, symbolizing idolatry, fertility cults, and spiritual adultery. Now, what these files reveal to us that people are going to have to accept is the reality of the spiritual war going on behind this realm that we can see. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Like, which is getting more realistic every day, or more visible every day, as this veil begins to fall. I like the jazzy music. Hello.
I'll get it. Hey, I got it.
What's that?
You see yourself?
Yeah, you see you?
Okay, come on.
There we go. Another thing, what's interesting is that also in these files, you realize that Hillary Clinton and these others, right before we went into Iraq, were very interested in the Tomb of Gilgamesh, which had been discovered in Iraq just a few months earlier, or historic Uruk. And if you're not familiar with it, the Epic of Gilgamesh describes the journey of a king that was half Nephilim. I believe it was half Nephilim, half man, or Nephilim. He was a giant. And the Tomb of Gilgamesh, as you see, let's just go ahead and read what we can find here, so that I don't get it wrong. Alright, so. Okay, so let me get something newer. Okay. Alright, so. Alright, okay, wait, what? Hillary Clinton leaked email discussions discussing resurrection chamber of the buried Nephilim. Now, what else can we find here? Because they were interested in the resurrection chamber, and from what I understand it, I don't know if the system is breaking down or what, but these people have been able, through this occultism and Satanism, to be able to extract the consciousness from one vessel and put it into another for quite some time. Now, here you go. Let's listen to, you know what? Let's see. Let's, we'll together, we will see what Tony has to say here. If we don't listen to everything, let's see if we can find what he has to say about the Tomb of Gilgamesh here, okay?
10 years ago on this channel, I did a video about Gilgamesh. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're talking about this ancient king where there was a tomb discovered of his. And I even had an interview on a live stream way back when of some soldier who was there at the time. And he kind of gave us some information about what he had seen. Anyway, we're going to get into some crazy stuff in this video because apparently we had a file dump on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And now we have some bizarre things discovered in these files, reminiscing of what we saw on Wiki back 10 years ago as well, when they came out. I think it was like 2015, right? during the election. You remember that whole thing? Some emails came out. Hillmeister had an email about some chamber. We're going to get into that and much more
Yes,
in this video.
we wanted
Or could it be
Gilgamesh. No.
to the
Here we go.
resurrection of
Here we go. Here we go. Let's do it.
What? The Hillmeister leaked email discusses a resurrection, of course, chamber. We're talking about Gilgamesh. This is from the old days, as you can see here. Requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection, of course, chamber. Oh, this is interesting. The one I saw was a little bit different.
This is, I mean, now, this is, we've been getting into for a long time about the existence of these Nephilim and giants and how the remains have been discovered forever, but have been covered up by the Smithsonian.
Gilgamesh to being Nimrod from the Old Testament, who created the Tower of Babel.
Wow, okay.
So you got Nimrod, you got Gilgamesh. Are they one and the same person? I personally believe they are. I've covered it before, how the original burial site, according to the Epic of Gilgamesh, was near the Euphrates River. However, there are others who've said that his remains were moved from that burial chamber near the Euphrates River and brought to Egypt, to the Great Pyramid, and buried between the Sphinx and the Great Pyramid, as there was a chamber found there as well. And so some are thinking that it's one and the same person. And we covered this before. Rob Skiba back in the old days covered it as well. So, and I actually didn't have any of that pulled up, but I've shown it before on video if you follow my channel for a while. But we got so much stuff to get into. Actually, here are some photos of when they were in Iraq. What is this here? The tomb of Gilgamesh has been opened. The blood of kings has been harvested. Resurrection protocol has begun. Beneath the so chessboard lies a artwork. The games we're going to develop. You may not believe in God, but you ought to know that the elites most certainly do. And they're at war with him and his people. All of this is real right now.
And they don't, and we don't even know it. We don't even know it.
Money, or you can choose to follow God.
We're God's people.
And
they've just been harvesting us.
There's also apocryphal literature talking about Nimrod and the things they were trying to do. They were trying to do something 100% spiritual against God when they built the Tower of Babel. I remember one of the apocryphal texts talks about it. It wasn't just simply a building. They were literally going to go fight God. That was the entire point that they were trying to do. And it was, I think they were trying to make a dimensional portal, because some of these apocryphal and supergraphical texts talk about, you know how they talk in some of these movies, like Ant-Man, they talk about there being multiple worlds, multiple dimensions. The word I'm looking for is multiverse. You saw about dimension.
Okay, so Tony's talked about it a little bit, but we also see, you know, it's just like Candace said. You may not believe in God, but the elites most certainly do, and they're at war with him and his people, which is us. They don't want us to know that. They just want us to kill each other. But look, we have to understand the gravity of what's been released with these files. Like I said, we have to understand that more important than anything going on, there is a spiritual war happening behind the veil of this life. And it affects the outcome of humanity. We all have to realize that. So guys, we'll keep on checking this out along with some of the other stuff going on. We've got the earthquake swarm in California. Definitely have big events coming up as we also approach potential strikes on Iran. We're going to start doing a little bit more here on the Justang Show. So you guys subscribe,